Boom. Oh, chest bump. Intro. Can we do this full time? How do we make a load of money? How do we optimize things? All the good analysis. Watch it. Can I step this up? So then that hits stage 3, which is, to be honest, where I'd say we are. And this is why I'm not going to profess to be any kind of expert. I'm just going to be knowledge dumping. That's nice. Knowledge sharing on you guys. So between us, we're probably a little bit north of this. I work full time. So in my time around work, I help out. Lindsay's at school. And so between us, we can probably eke out 40 hours in a week. And that's our time. So time is starting to become a tougher currency. At the start, you might have actually been able to put more time in. Time is getting a little bit harder to find to maintain the scale that we're at. On the plus side, there is money in the bank for the business. So, we are probably at a stage where if we went out every day, thrifted pretty hard, we could probably outspend what we make, but not really. So at the moment, there tends to be more coming in than we're spending on inventory, which is great because it means the bank account balance goes up and we've got liquid cash available if a great opportunity pops up. But it also means that there's an overabundance in the business. Like we're trying to grow this as big as we can make it. For you might be getting it to get a certain amount of cash and then just take that out and use it to pay your rent or your mortgage or your kid's school or whatever it is, right? Or just go out and have a load of beers. We're trying to grow it, so we need to have some of that cash left over to be a backup, but we also need to find ways to reinvest it to make the business better, grow, more cash, more money left over, all that fun stuff. So you're probably somewhere around this stage, under 1,000 items. We're currently, I think, about 700 live items, and that's not even on all our platforms. Some are only 400 on a certain platform. And your knowledge is hopefully pretty good at this stage, like the classic buzzwords of BOLOs and sell-through rates and how to photograph an item. Those should be there, but you've probably also got to the stage where you realize that you've got to the point of knowing a level of stuff that you now realize how little of everything else you know. So we're now aware of so many more brands that we know nothing about, so many more ways of photographing items, so many ways of optimizing listing titles, how does the Google search work, all of that stuff. So you should be at a stage where you can be humble about the fact that you know some stuff, but it actually just tells you that you know very little in the grand scheme. And so what to do at this stage? I've put it full-time ? Because I think that's where we are in our heads. And so we're really trying to be consistent with the number of listings a day. Again, we do multi-platform, but I would at this stage be picking a good number of listings a day to expand or keep your business stable. And again, this is where things like your time and things like that are going to factor in, and your effort and how much you want to put in. But alongside what we do, the goal is to list 5 items a day. And obviously that means that we also have to find them and photograph them and all that stuff. But I list 5 a day on eBay, and we then copy them across to Poshmark and Etsy, where we do specialized vintage stuff. And so, if you want to expand, you can do more. Again, 5 a day keeps us just about level. We sold 100, let's have a look. What did we do? We did, September was 146 items, just about 8 grand in sales and 6 grand in profit. So to maintain, by the looks of things, and this will come down because there's seasonality to this, but let's say to do 8 grand a month, we need to sell at our current pricing 150 items a month. So if I list 5 a day, that's 150 a month. And that maintains the business, or should maintain the business at that level. Again, there'll be tons of other factors. Seasonality, we have a big winter stocked closet, so we're going to do better there. So we need to transition our closet better to spring and summer and all that stuff. But if we can do that, and 150 items, that's where I'd expect our numbers to be. Now, as we get more time, or more efficient, I'd like to do 7, 10 a day, and then the business can grow. But at that stage, we're really talking about how do we improve further, and we now need to manifest this time. Where does this time come from? And so this is where, for me, the learning, again, YouTube videos, look at them, learn more. But this is where going into successful resellers starts to become really important, because let's say your effort is great, your money is in a good spot, you are now, and we are, more time poor. Not as time poor, we can still do more, of course, but we need to start being more efficient about things to improve the business and get beyond a certain stage. Because at the moment, if we were doing $8 grand a month, that's 96 a year. So, roughly that's going to put us in the $100,000 a year, six-figure reseller bracket, which I can smack as clickbait on a future YouTube channel. If you hadn't looked at it already, and this is what we're considering at the moment, it's business model is something you probably want to think about. So when you're at this stage, you will be essentially treating this as a business. You may have already established it, and so it's there. Someone LLC, whatever your name is, whatever your business is called. But you're going to start wanting to think about what you're selling, what works well, and how you follow a certain business model. So we're a little bit mixed at the moment. I normally say you could either be a volume seller or you can be a high ticket or high average sale price seller. So volume sellers are going to find lots of items, they're going to flip them quickly, and they're going to make not much on them, but they're going to be able to churn through a ton, and they're probably going to find a lot of consistency as well, right? Because if you're picking up the lower cost brands, as long as there's a demand for them, you'll be able to find more of them, you'll be able to sell them quickly if you price them right, and essentially you can keep the old thing rolling that way. Although it's going to be a high effort. Everything's going to be extra high effort at this stage. You've got high ticket. So what you could do here is you could start to pick out only high value items, and this is where you might start looking at retail arbitrage. You might look at liquidation. You might just be going and being really fussy at the thrift stores and picking out only designer items and that kind of stuff. We're kind of in the middle. This is one of the issues with our business at the moment, is what's going to serve us best. So we've started doing more men's stuff because I've started being more and more involved. And that's more of a volume piece, right? We're selling a lot of things at $25 to $35 to kind of keep the business supported. And then Lindsay still picks out the high value items, which we still do incredibly well off as well. So we've kind of gone for this joint model. In the long run, I think we'd have to be more efficient at some stage, but we're doing that. You might also want to think at this stage about targeting a certain part of the market, right? So if you come across a lot of plaid shirts, maybe that's actually something that you can just focus on entirely and build a brand and a business around to just become a true expert in that space and churn things out from there. You're also going to want to look at efficiency at this stage, and that's one thing that we're looking at. Again, great channels that I'm going to share at the end of this. But efficiency in your business, because you are now time poor, and if you can't free up that time, you're not necessarily going to make more money or make your business make more money in the long run. So you want to start looking here at what you can do to spend your time better. This may be lumping up your sourcing into a couple of just dedicated on the road 2 8-hour days, whatever it is. Just churn it out and source for the week and get it done and out of the way so that you're not back and forth to the thrift store the whole time. This might be tweaking your photo setup. So as opposed to a minute per photo, you get it down to 30 seconds. This may be tweaking how you list, so that as opposed to 2 minutes to list, it takes 1 minute to list. Because essentially, if you're doing that, you're halving your photo time, then you're halving your listing time as well, which means more time to buy stuff or more time to list and so on. So you're going to want to start looking around where you can be more efficient. I mean, this may also be in the products that you're buying, right? And this kind of ties into point 3, which is financial data. So At this stage, you should kind of know it intuitively, but you're going to want to start paying attention pretty hard to what an item would make you. So what does the profit mean in terms of, if you just bought this item, what do you flip it for? How quickly does it flip, and how much does it make you? Because then you can start to estimate, plan, and build your business to grow. So along with that, you're also going to want to start calculating, okay, what's my monthly revenue? You probably want to start setting some targets. We want to be by August next year, we want to be consistently on 10 grand a month. So that means more listings will need to happen, and we'll need to transition through the months well. But if we've had 3 months where 10 grand happened, then I think Lindsay will go full time with this, and again, I'll just do it alongside work. You should know about your profit margins and probably your tax implications as well, depending on how much you earn in a given year. You're going to start wanting to pay a little bit of attention about what you can actually write off, whether that's, again, I'm not tax expert, nothing on this. You're going through TurboTax, it asks you how much of your space you use for business and how much does it cost and that stuff. So there's things that, understanding that process, you can be smart with your money as well. And then we're at the stage as well, which is cross-platform selling. And you're probably at a few stages of, do I need to sell on more platforms? Is it even worth it? And these are the questions that I don't yet have answers to. We're trying to boost our eBay sales at the moment, which is going kind of well, or going better. So you can see here the pink line is Poshmark. So we've had pretty consistent growth on that since October. Etsy is brutally seasonal for our clothing, at least. So that's an area for us to improve. And then eBay, we've slowly started to tick up. We're only not even halfway into October, and eBay's already had a $1,000 month. So it's still got a way to catch Poshmark, which actually all the data's not in, but I think Poshmark is at about a couple of grand for this month. But we're trying to grow that because there are so many more eyes there for us, and we feel like we'll actually be able to turn out a bigger volume of items. But we're also wrestling with the fact that we might be wasting our time because essentially we have to cross-list, and that costs us a lot of time. And we haven't yet found a cross-listing tool that we feel is up to scratch and actually saves us enough time to be worth the $100, $150 a month, whatever they're going to charge. And that is it. Stage 4, let's find out. So, we've got our goals, 3 10K months by August next year. We're probably going to pull the trigger on Lindsay going full-time anyway. Outro. The original outro was boring and waffly. This outro says subscribe and like and do the things, and then hope that this was interesting and that we put out more videos on other stuff. Peace.